MMA Maniacs, it's time once again for your weekly MMA podcast called Split Decision. I can't even talk because of the delay. It's messing me up over here. Toddcast. It's from the Ruloff Family Inc. Studios. This, of course, is Dennis Ruloff. Today we are joined by Ariane Celeste, between Dodge and myself. She will not be making any statements at all today. She's just here for the view. If you want to tell your friends about us, please do. You can find us anywhere podcasts are broadcast against Split Decision MMA Podcast. Find us on Facebook. Give us a like. SD_MMA on Twitter and Instagram. And, of course, big thanks to our sponsors, StrongboardBalance.com. Change the way you work out. Get on board. StrongboardBalance.com. Dennis is doing the weekly workout. What's happening with that, man?
I'm still at the basically pinch the weights and squat.
With your
pinch rows.
Clinch and squat?
Yeah, clinch and squats.
Clinch and squat.
Haven't got nothing new yet.
Is that working out pretty good?
Yeah, everything's working out.
Yeah, I mean, you've been doing this for a while now.
Yeah, I'm actually, on that little board behind you. I've been
behind Ariane.
I've been doing the 30-minute thing too, adding those little stuff.
Right on.
I don't have a really good tree pose though.
I was say, how is your tree pose?
It's more of a shrub. I'm just saying
it's a shrub pose.
It's a shaking pose.
So change the way you work out. Get on board, strongboardbalance.com. Find them on Instagram for your chance to win your very own strongboard. Very, very cool. Also, mymmanews.com, our second home, and your place for breaking news. As we do this once a week, they do it every day, mymmanews.com. With all that said and done, time for us to jump into what's happening in the wide world of MMA. Big weekend last weekend with UFC 200 as well as the other accompanying fights, and a big rumor that finally came true as well. But before we jump into that, we got news on Fedor.
Yeah, so Fedor fought Fabio Maldonado back in June 17th, in Eurasian Fight Night 50.
Is this the one that was under the Fight Pass banner?
Yes.
Okay.
This was in Russia. If you watched the fight, you got to see Fedor be pretty much destroyed in the first round. I mean, he was getting his ass handed to him. Mm-hmm. He kind of woke up. I mean, he's normally all sleepy as it is anyway. But
he's a lumbering fighter, yeah.
He woke up in the second, definitely won the second round, and then goes back and forth whether or not he won the third round or not. Most people say yes. But because he... And so the overall decision of this was a majority decision win for Fedor Emelianenko.
Okay. So
however,
not a split, but a majority.
A majority. And the reason this happened is that one judge scored it 10-8, 9-10, 9-10, a draw. One judge. The other two did not. They said that he lost the first round, but only a 10-9 round. And then the rest were 9-10, 9-10 for Fedor. So this is how he wins the majority decision. Fabio Maldonado's camp appealed the decision to the Russian MMA Union, which was denied by the vice president, who said the reason why the appeal has been denied is because you did not file it within 40 minutes of losing.
40 minutes?
40 minutes.
Wow.
So I thought this was done. I didn't even kind of mention it the other day because I thought it was done. And then he decided Fabio Maldonado
to reappeal.
Went to the World Mixed Martial Arts Association. Remember WAMO when they started handing out belts and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah.
Which Russia is a member of. And they had their judges watch the fight. And they scored it 28-28. A draw. Dead even. Giving a 28, giving that 10-8 round the first time for Maldonado and 9-10s for the other Fedor. And they will record it in their books as a unanimous draw. However, Eurasian Fight League and the MMA Union say, no.
Not happening.
No, result cannot be overturned. We express their views, but they do not have the right to influence our decision.
That's because in Mother Russia, Pokemon catches you.
And he will not unfold an attempt to take away a well-deserved victory from Russian legend Fedor Emelianenko.
Emelianenko? I like that better. Change his name to Fedor Emelianenko. You have been Emelianenko'd. Moving on now to...
what do you think about that, though?
What do I think about that?
Crazy?
I think it's bizarre because the article I read said something about the Russian mob being involved.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Which
I don't know if that's true or not. Only Joey does.
Well, no, I read an article about them being involved. I'm not saying it was true or not. And somebody was making the accusations, again, not us. Somebody was making the accusations that the reason that the appeal, even though it was approved, is also still being denied by, you said Eurasian, is because of the Russian mob's presence there. Again, we're not saying that. Somebody online did.
Go find them.
Go find them. Not us.
Do you think this has to... we see fights before, like, say Bisping's fight against Matt Hamill back in the day, where it was in the UK, and a lot of people thought Matt Hamill should have won that fight.
Right.
and they gave it to Bisping. Do you see biased for the local hometown guy?
I think, well, we've talked about home cooking before, and I'm not saying that it always happens, but I'd say it does happen more often than not, especially with somebody who has a big name that carries over in their region. You know, if you go down to Brazil, not every Brazilian fighter is going to win because they're in Brazil, but you got a big name down there, then you got a big name that's probably going to sway the judges a little more in their favor than not, you know. I'm not saying it does happen like that, but it's entirely possible. It'd be silly to count it out as well.
Yeah. But a little bit crazier when it's swayed and they're saying no.
That makes it
Never
bizarre.
Even I don't care what other organization or any other judges that appealed this, we're saying no.
It's just weird that Whammo went back and like watched the fight almost like an instant replay forever later.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, further news we have the MMA news for New York, or excuse me, the MMA rules for New York have been proposed and they're out. One of the big things that says is that the law mandates that $1 million coverage of medical costs associated with treating life-threatening brain injuries. However, the limitation to the $1 million requirement seems to be only if it's diagnosed within 48 hours.
So you have to have TBI within 48 hours?
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of the stuff that we're seeing with CTE now that doesn't show up for years isn't going to apply to this.
Right, which just seems a little weird. They do say, though, however, they also have a requirement now that any fighter losing 3 fights in a row due to TK or KO, or losing 6 fights in a row will be given an automatic suspension.
In New York?
In New York.
Okay.
And reinstatement takes place after the Athletic Commission can review medical records.
You don't have to suspend anybody who loses 6 fights in a row? Because they're just not going to be around anymore.
Well, they won't be fighting in the UFC, but they might fight in another organization. Remember, this is MMA in general for New York.
Yeah. Not likely. You drop 6 fights in a row, and you can't fight in New York. You're going to fight in like Baton Rouge for some like really small organization anyway. So, you know, I'm not really sweating that too much. But I mean, I guess New York's not going to make this easy on anyone. So.
I kind of like that rule, though. I mean, you get 3 knockouts in a row, you should probably not fight for a little while.
But you're going to get an automatic suspension anyway if you get 3 knockouts. Yeah, you're going to get
a 30-day suspension.
No, you get longer than that for a knockout. You get like 6 months.
I don't know. I want to say Smiling Sam got knocked out, and then he was right back 2 cards later, less than 30 days.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. I thought it was like if you got KO'd, it was like a legit 6 month later.
And I'm glad to be back. I was gone for a little bit.
Yeah, you had to go freshen up, go powder your nose.
Yeah, had to make sure we were transmitting right.
And are we?
Yeah, it sounds good.
All right. Thank you for joining us.
Demetrius Johnson has suffered an injury and is out of his title defense against Wilson Rise at UFC 201. That's going down at the end of the month, July 30th.
How does he get injured? I don't even know. It doesn't compute at all.
I'm guessing, what's that where you run and jump off buildings and shit?
Parkour?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Johnson's doing parkour. Maybe he's catching Pokemon. He's a big gamer.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
He's jumping off of shit, catching Pokemon.
He is a big gamer.
2 deaths this week by Pokemon.
How many by texting?
I'm just saying. I don't want to get in an argument with you.
How many? I'm not even going to say that. I was going to say, how many by car or truck?
Well, how many by following GPS off a cliff? Which people tend to do. Turn left here. Okay.
Oh, wait. Apple didn't tell me.
Damn. Sorry I brought it up. Still. T's and P's for the people who died.
By Pokemon.
It's by ignorance.
Dana White recently was in a media scrum after UFC 200. He says he is confident George St. Pierre will never fight again.
Right.
He said, I've said that. I'll say it again. George St. Pierre is done. He is retired. He will not fight again. I've dealt with him, dealing with him since he was 19.
He will fight in November.
I know the mentality of a fighter and wants to fight, and I know the mentality of a fighter does not want to fight. George St. Pierre does not want to fight. He says he's been saying it for a long time. I wholeheartedly believe you'll never see George St. Pierre in the octagon again unless he's cornering somebody.
We'll never have women in the octagon, ever. We will never sell the company. We're not for sale. The list goes on and on.
I don't know if he ever said if we'll never sell. Because remember, he did say if someone comes up with $4 billion.
Oh, that's true. So we're not for sale, but your shoe's not for sale, but there's a price for them.
Right.
That's fine.
So we can go into that. The UFC did sell.
Yep.
For $4 billion.
Yep. But not to the Wanda Holdings like we thought it was going to be.
No, not at all. William Morris Endeavor International Marketing Group.
Big conglomerate merged in 2013.
They are the ones who have bought the UFC for $4 billion.
Crazy.
Lorenzo and Frank Fertitta will be stepping away. However, they do get to hold some small percentage. Dana White is staying on as UFC president. Also gets his percentage, which is about 9%, apparently.
Of $4 billion?
Of $4 billion.
Okay.
His compensation package, let's say that the numbers that we saw in 2015, they made $600 million in gross, with a profit of $150 million. So 9%, he's going to get $13.5 million.
Oh my God. He's going to make it snow in Vegas again, isn't he?
Just to put that in perspective for you, Roger Goodell, NFL commissioner, makes 20. NBA commissioner David Stern make 20. So he's making pretty good money.
He's got some fuck you money coming his way.
Yeah. He says if he sold all of his shares, he would have made $360 million.
Wow.
Yeah, because that's how it was reported first, that he would make like $300-something million.
Yeah,
but I think they're smart to stay vested.
Heck yeah.
Now think about this. A lot of you are talking out there about how it was a $2 million investment initially when they bought the company.
Yeah, we talked about this over the weekend.
Yeah, from Art Davey and the Gracies.
Yep.
Now that $2 million is the initial investment. That doesn't go over how much they invested in the pay-per-views that they had.
How much money they've shelled out after?
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind the one that Tito Ortiz headlined. It went dark before the main event happened. They had to refund all those people.
Yep.
The amount of production costs that they put into the original Ultimate Fighter before anybody picked it up, they put all that money up front.
Yeah, they hemorrhaged $15 to $20 million for years.
A year, right?
A year,
Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah. So just because it was a $2 million investment doesn't mean that's all they invested in the company before turning a profit. I mean, they could have easily put $100 million into it before turning a profit. Don't get me wrong either. $4 billion off of $100 million is still a damn good return.
Oh, for sure. Some of your new owners that we have been announced. I mean, you can kind of.
Could you imagine if, like, for every pay-per-view that you bought, you got like a stock in the UFC? How rich we would be right now.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. That just makes me fucking sad.
It's never going to make it.
Like if I would have just got.
It's never going to be nothing.
If I would have just got, I think the $55 that I spent back. Now that it's sold on each pay-per-view that I bought.
Be serious cash. You buy a car. Dodge is going to do the math right now.
I got to do the math.
I just think if the incentive was, okay, you buy a $55 pay-per-view, if you pay 10 extra bucks, you get a share in the UFC. I would have
bond, like a UFC bond.
like a UFC bond.
You should sell those UFC bonds. You guys get on that.
I would easily have 100 UFC bonds, like 100 shares in UFC right now. Easily.
That's nice.
I would have over $8,000 just in pay-per-view, easily.
You're welcome, Dana. You're welcome.
Wow.
We're going to reflect on our lives now for a little bit. Yeah. So Ari Emanuel.
He's like, I'm out of here.
I'm out.
We just
Done.
quit.
So tired of this.
Ari Emanuel, super agent, which if you watch Entourage, that's who Ari Gold is based on.
I did not know this until Dodge told me.
Yeah. He's veteran agent. Like I said, he's behind the character in Entourage. Let's see who else we got. Patrick Whitesell is a former agent also.
Barack Obama.
What no. Ari's brother is former chief of staff for.
Thanks
Barack
a lot,
Obama.
Obama.
Silver Lake Partners, which also invest in companies like GoDaddy and Dell. They're a big Silicon Valley firm. Ergon Durban, who.
So basically, I mean, this really is just like they're like, hey, I want to be part of something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They saw it as a really smart investment. I mean, if they're turning up hundreds of millions of dollars in profits every quarter, then
So what are these? So they bought it at $2 million, sold it for $4 billion. So these guys are going to sell it for $4 trillion, $8 trillion, $8 trillion.
What they're going to do is they're going to build it up into like the ultimate legacy, and they're probably going to break it off and sell it in pieces.
Oh, like the Legends division.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm not happening.
Girls division.
Sorry, not trying to freak anybody out. Not anytime soon, like at all.
I would like to see what they're going to do with the Fox deal because that ends in 2 years.
Yeah, no, that's very interesting. Highest bidder, like we talked about over the weekend.
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense. But I think that's what they're going to do is they're going to take certain aspects like they're probably going to break it down. Like, okay, now we have the pay-per-view
Spike's
properties.
going to get the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, Spike gets the Ultimate Fighter.
USA's going to get Ultimate Fighter
nights,
Brazil.
Yeah. The fight nights are going to be separate from the pay-per-views, and
right.
The Fight Pass stuff is going to be separate from all that.
Instead of all one thing. Or do they launch the UFC channel finally?
Did they give Reebok their
Possibly.
$77 million back and tell them to walk?
Go fuck yourself. Walk. Go fuck yourself.
Hey, just do it.
It's going to be interesting. Talking about the money and some paydays here, Brock Lesnar took home a precedent highest payday in UFC history, received $2.5 million just to show up. That
On
doesn't
paper.
mean pay-per-view money. That doesn't mean win bonus.
How pissed off
That
are you
doesn't
if
mean
you're any of these other
anything.
people on the list?
He got $2.5 million. They also co-branded, and I don't know if you guys saw it, but I definitely did. You saw some WWE pay-per-view commercials.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Brock
it-
Lesnar DVD paper commercials.
Yeah, his video game, his life story.
Slam, was it Slam City?
Yeah, Suplex City.
Suplex City, population U. No, I mean, I don't think that the other fighters are mad. I think other fighters realize like what Brock Lesnar is.
I know one fighter who's mad.
CM Punk.
No, Mr. McGregor. It's like, Daddy's got a better son than me. Oh, Daddy's got a better son than me.
He's Irish. They say that to each other all the time.
You know you're not my favorite kid. I know. You're not even my kid.
Not even my fourth favorite kid, and I've only got two.
New documentary coming out. It's called The Hurt Business. This is being put together by the guys who did Generation Iron, and also the producers of Born with Columbine and Fahrenheit 901. This is going to be a documentary.
That scares me. When you say that he helped with those other two movies,
Just as a producer, not the.
It doesn't
it's not
matter.
Michael
It's
fucking
not Michael Moore.
it doesn't matter. So I feel like they're going to be like,
Have you seen Generation
you know how many
Iron?
people kills MMA? How many people
Generation Iron.
MMA kills?
It's good.
Is it good?
Watch Generation Iron.
I don't watch a lot of stuff.
It's Michael Moore would be like, and the UFC is producing super soldiers
Yeah.
that we're going to use to go to war with the entire world.
This is going to examine the rise of mixed martial arts through the fighters' eyes. They will be talking to numerous fighters: John Jones, George St. Pierre, Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz, Ronda Rousey, many more, exploring the mentality required to succeed and the damage done and the fear of what it takes to be a fighter. This is going to be narrated by Kevin Costner.
Interesting.
By Kevin Costner?
By Kevin Costner.
It's
not
going to
Morgan
turn into
Freeman?
Waterworld.
I want Morgan Freeman, man. And here we have some UFC fighters coming in to train once again. It's been a long week and a long road heading up to the fights this time.
Mike
around.
Rowe. They need Mike Rowe.
Mike Rowe would be dope.
He did the original Ultimate Fighter.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know
He was
that.
the narrator for the Ultimate Fighter.
You know what? That
for like
sounds.
the first 3 seasons.
That completely makes sense now. Yeah, back when they had ring girls carrying around money and shit.
Oh, if there was Ring Girls, there was Mike Rowe. That's a booty getting mother right there. I'll tell you right now.
All right, so we had 3 fight cards we can go over, as well as looking forward to Bellator tomorrow?
Tonight. It's always tonight.
It's always
Tonight.
a little bit of news we can attach to some of these. To start off with the Ultimate Fighter finale, this was on Fox Sports 1
This went down on Friday.
on the 8th. What was that? Yeah.
Was there one before this then?
Yeah, there was one on
Thursday?
Thursday. There was
whole
Thursday,
Fight
Friday,
Pass
Saturday.
But we already talked about that.
Then we don't need to talk about it again.
That's right.
Just making sure.
We can leave it alone.
All right.
Don't touch it no more. Your camera will come on.
Cesar Ferreira and Anthony Smith kicked off your Fox Sports 1 card with Cesar Ferreira getting the unanimous decision. We had decisions on the entire undercard. Josh Stansbury gets his over Corey Hendricks.
Unless you're watching Fight Pass.
Unless you were watching Fight Pass. Those two ended up in KO and TKO. Li Jingling KO'd Anton Zafir. Kevin Lee gets a TKO over Jake Matthews. Yeah, you just wanted me to say Jingling, huh?
I liked it.
Jingling.
Podcast and broadcast.
Jingling, just you seen the movie Life with Eddie Murphy, right? Yeah.
There's just stuff you say that sounds cool.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Matthias Nicolau got a win over John Moraga, and Gray Maynard gets a unanimous decision.
He's alive!
Yeah, I know! The ghost of Gray Maynard wins over Fernando Bruno. Then you jump onto your main card, which was also on Fox Sports 1. Joaquim Silva gets a big KO over Andrew Holbrook. This happened 34 seconds into the first round. Duho Choi beat Thiago Tavares.
Oh,
wow.
man.
This guy, Thiago Tavares, was walking, took 3 steps, stopped right in front of Duho Choi, and got punched right in the face for
And
it.
it didn't even look like there was a lot on it.
That's what's scary about Duho Choi, though, is that people look at him and he's got that little boy face. You know, he looks like he's going down to the store to buy some sweets, you know.
Some people like that.
He's not going to fight. He's going to buy some now and later at Quick Stop, isn't he? No, then he
Some
kicks your ass.
Laffy Taffy or just something.
Hey, little boy, why don't you come over for some Laffy Taffy?
All right, now this next one.
Will Brooks versus Ross
Will
Pearson.
Brooks, former Bellator champion, says he is coming for the former Bellator champion.
I was not impressed.
You were not impressed with his performance?
No, I don't think it. I think Ross got
You
the
think
second.
Ross
I got the
should've
second round. No, second round.
Well, he gave it 29-28, so yeah, second
Got
round.
around.
I didn't. No, I don't think that's how it ended up being scored out.
That's how it's scored out there.
Okay, all right. All right, maybe they did. Maybe I missed something.
Maybe.
Okay.
Then the lady fight, Tatiana Suarez going up against Amanda Cooper with a Darce choke.
Beautiful Darce.
Yeah, it looked really, really good. Tatiana Suarez sunk that in there very well.
This sucked. I was all about Miss Cooper. I thought there was no way. I mean, she was so heavy. She's just she's got a real low center of gravity, and I think Suarez used it and knocked her on it.
It got a solid choke.
Knocked her on it.
Knocked her on. It got a solid choke out of it, too.
Yeah.
Moving on from there, light heavyweight Andrew Sanchez going up against Khalil Roundtree. Pretty good fight. Ended up with a unanimous decision.
Another one that I
took Roundtree, man.
sucked the big one on. I did. I took Roundtree too.
I don't remember who I took on this one.
Because through the whole Ultimate Fighter, Roundtree wasn't real healthy. I mean, neither was Sanchez. And then they both, I don't know how long it was from what we see to when they actually fought. But when they came in, I thought, okay, Roundtree's just going to get it.
Roundtree looked like a tree. And when he came out, Andrew Sanchez did exactly what he had to do. He let Khalil gas himself in the first round completely.
For sure.
And then after that, Andrew Sanchez could just...
Right.
What was amazing to me was seeing the different body structures of these two and still seeing Andrew Sanchez, after like round 2 began, be able to just take him down and out-wrestle him at will with Roundtree being so big.
Yeah.
But he did it, and he got the win, and he walks away with the unanimous decision and the Ultimate Fighter champion.
Yeah.
And then we move on to your coach fight with Joanna Jędrzejczyk up against Claudia Gadelha. And Gadelha came in just looking like Magilla Gorilla. Those arms were out of control. The traps all the way up to her ears.
Yeah, but she paid for it.
She was dominating that round 1.
She did,
And 2.
And probably 2.
The exact same thing happened that Sanchez did to Khalil. Let her gas herself out. And it did. It took her longer to gas out.
Yep.
Because I was watching it going, oh, same thing's going to happen in this fight. But it's a 5-round fight. So Gadelha gets those first 2 rounds and then just
Joanna
dies.
just turned it up.
If you saw the punch statistics on that, it was kind of insane.
Yeah.
And on a couple forums, there was bets going on just if she could make it to the 5th. They thought she was so gassed going into the 4th, there was no way she could stay on her feet.
Yeah, I almost thought she lost.
She would look like a zombie, dude.
She really did. And
She says also that she does not forgive Joanna, who said, it's all just for, I apologize. It's all just building
No,
up
that
to the
was real
fight.
shit between them.
And she's like, nope. She's like, I was taught a different way in mixed martial arts. As a martial artist, you're supposed to respect your opponent. The things she was saying were not respectful. I never will forget her. Or never forgive her, and I will see her again, as we've already fought once before.
Yeah, that was whatever's between them is real.
If you want to check out the scorecards, you can check out the scorecards, which I thought were really interesting. A couple of people were wondering what the fights, the score was announced. It was announced 48-45, 48-46, and 48-46.
giving her a dropped round completely, a 10-8 round. From
Yeah.
one of the judges.
So and that was the big one that everyone was kind of like, wait, what?
Right.
But definitely both rounds, first 2 rounds went to Claudia, and then the 4th round was the 10-8 round that every judge gave to Joanna. Every judge gave round 4 a 10-8.
And if before you said that, if I would have had to have picked a round, I would have said round 4.
Oh yeah, because like I said, that's when the people in the forums were just like, "There's no way she's making it out alive."
The first judge gave Joanna a 10-8 in the 5th round as well, so that's where you got the 48-45. Where the rest of the judges were 48-46.
Gotcha. Okay.
So pretty interesting. Who's next for Joanna?
I don't even know, man.
I mean, any ideas?
None. I don't know a lot about that division, I'll be honest with you. So I couldn't throw a name out there. And
See if we can throw.
And your computers want to cooperate.
There we go. So Carla Esparza already took her out. Claudia Gadelha's already gone. I mean, Rose or Tisha?
And Rose is about to fight
I say Joanne.
Rowdy Beck, right?
No, Beck's fighting Paige Van Zandt.
That's right. Okay.
Tisha or Joanne. Or Kowalkiewicz. I like Kowalkiewicz.
Kowalkiewicz is about to fight.
Didn't she
Holmes.
just fight? I thought she just fought.
No,
No.
she's not fighting Holmes. It's another weight class, buddy.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. She's
And
fighting
I'm lost.
Shevchenko. Holmes is fighting Shevchenko.
Shevchenko, okay.
Tisha Torres, I think just fought, right? Yeah, she lost to Rose. So maybe Rose?
Could be Rose.
Ooh, that's a meaty fight right there.
I'm still down with Joanna, but I mean Rose is higher. Makes
Rose
more
is
sense.
fighting Kowalkiewicz.
Kowalkiewicz. So Kowalkiewicz and Rose are out. Joanna, then it
So
is.
there you go. Whoever wins that fight would take on Joanna. At least in our opinion.
I mean, Joanne Calderwood is who I was saying. Sorry, not Joanna.
JoJo?
Yeah, JoJo. But whatever.
UFC 200.
The landmark event.
Landmark event. We were joking about this, talking about things before. The UFC used to have these great names for their cards. They used to have like the War of 04.
Right.
And Heavy Hitters with a Z.
Rage in the Cage.
And, Bad Boys. And
Yeah.
shit like that. I think this is UFC 200.
Yeah.
We made it.
If
UFC 200. Sold!
Huh. We put on a card.
Sold!
UFC 200.
To the
We put
guy
on
with
a
the
card.
fancy hat.
I think the
UFC
main
200.
event,
Not my problem anymore.
my problem anymore.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
Not my circus, not my clowns.
I feel like if Cain Velasquez and Travis Brown would have been ahead of Miesha Tate and Amanda Nunes, I would have felt better about the main event.
Yeah, a lot of rumors coming out, and a lot of reporters were saying that after the co-main event, Brock Lesnar, Mark Hunt, people left.
Oh yeah,
They were done. They
were
walked
walking
out.
out.
Didn't even pay attention to the main event. So let's go on the undercard, though.
Let's
start
take it
at
from
the
the
bottom.
top. Yeah, Jim Miller going up against Takanori Gomi with a TKO in the very first round.
This is like old school guard versus old guard.
Yeah, I don't even know what to make of
Fighters,
this.
tier of fighters, and good for Jim Miller.
I would have
Takano
never
Gomi.
picked Jim Miller to TKO Takanori Gomi
Is done.
ever. Yeah, Gomi has to be done. The Fireball Kid just got put out.
Ugh.
Gerard Mousasi gets a KO over Thiago Santos of the very first round, 4 minutes and 32
And
seconds.
is now calling out Vitor.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll watch that fight.
All day.
And then J-Lo going up against
J-Lo, man.
Diego Sanchez.
Turned him into a walking corpse.
Yes, he did.
Especially after, I don't know if you guys seen the video where Diego said this is probably the best weight cut he's ever had. I have so much energy. I'm about to go walk the strip right now.
Was he going to yes cartwheel down the strip?
Yes, cartwheel down the strip.
I don't know, but whatever you did at this weight cut, don't ever do it again. Don't ever do it again, Diego.
Yeah, J-Law made quick work of him getting a TKO at a minute 26 of the very first round. That was all on your Fight Pass card. Moving on there to Fox Sports 1 for your prelims.
Decision Fest.
Decision Fest 200. Northcutt gets a decision over Enrique Martin.
Everyone making a huge fucking deal about him getting out of that armbar.
It was bad.
It was not that bad.
It wasn't held right. I understand that.
It was
but
not. I was more impressed with Dan Hardy getting out of GSP's armbar, hands down, than Sage Northcutt getting out of this.
Everybody watches. Stay tuned. I'm going to put Dodge in that same type of armbar. We're gonna see where he goes from
Sage
it.
Northcutt.
It's going to literally look like a monkey fucking a football.
I guarantee it. Tune in.
First of all, they moved this to Fox Sports 2 because of baseball.
Oh, God, I was so pissed.
I like what Dodge told me.
And I'm trying to find it on the TV, and I finally found it. I haven't been able to find Fox Sports 2 on DirecTV forever, and I finally found it, and I swear to God, I thought I was watching. I stumbled across some small local show because
some minor org.
the cage was urine gold yellow instead of fucking regular because they were trying to make it a big thing for 200. B, Sage Northcutt and Enrique Marin look like the most amateur fighters I've ever seen on a big card in a long time.
Yeah.
I was just so confused about what's going on.
The yellow mat was horrible. And I think it probably didn't help a lot of the fighters either. Not to blame it for anybody's loss, but I mean, come on, you're used to fighting on white canvas for how long, and all of a sudden you walk
like
into
that blue-gray.
bright yellow. Yeah.
It wasn't even bright. It looked like urine.
On TV. TV adds 10
Like
shades.
if it would have had a little sparkle to it, make it a little shimmery.
That would have
gold,
been fucking horrible.
At least then it would make sense.
Somebody said that WEC had a yellow ring at one time.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember.
What is it? Cage did. What is it? Cage.
King of the Cage.
King of the Cage does.
King of the
Theirs
Cage.
is yellow,
Yeah.
not urine.
Like Coldplay yellow?
Yeah.
Goldenrod.
TJ Dillashaw gets a win up against Rafael Assunção. Again,
Wants to fight Dominic Cruz again.
was not impressed with TJ.
No.
Dominic Cruz says nobody gives a shit about that motherfucker.
Mm.
Straight up, that's what he said. He
Oh,
said
he's got to start the mean talk already.
he wants to fight. He's like, I'll fight. I'd rather fight DJ. He wants to step up. That's
says
interesting
those
fight.
mean things.
He's like, I'll fight Conor McGregor. He's like, I'll fight anybody. I'm looking for the money fight. I'm looking for somebody that's going to challenge me. He's like, nobody gives a shit. He is a pussy. He's all, I talked shit to his face for 30 minutes while he stared at the ground or looked for his wife for confirmation in the crowd without saying a word to me. I already beat him. I have nothing else to prove.
That's some harsh words. He's going to go home and cuddle with his wife and his blankie now. Kevin Gastelum up against Johnny Hendricks. Gastelum looked good. I'll give him that.
Did Gastelum look good or did Johnny just look shitty?
Well, no, Johnny, we had 70% Johnny.
I don't even think we had 70.
Ooh, Johnny says, the weight cut was hard again.
He didn't weight cut.
I know. Because
What weight did he cut?
Failed weight. He's at 171. He's a pound and a quarter.
That's
over.
after the hour that
After
they
the
did.
hour. Number 2, he says, I don't even know if I want to fight anymore.
Yeah.
I got to have a conversation with myself.
Ask me.
I say, go down to Bellator.
Yeah. You know what? There's so much of him, I believe he had a conversation with himself.
Go to Bellator.
The tale of two Johnnies.
Go to ONE FC and go fight Ben Askren.
That's another guy. That's a whole nother story. I'm so tired of Chael Sonnen and Ben Askren talking about the UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Juliana Pena gets a win
At
over...
least Chael Sonnen gets paid to by the ESPN.
I don't even think he does. I think he does it for like
For brownies?
ribs or something.
For his legal steroids so he can have a kid now.
Yeah.
Just go get something from Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger's got his 8th kid coming. I'm almost positive he's 72 years old. He got his 8th kid on the way.
Just adopt a Jagger.
Mick Jagger, he's had 1 sperm left, and it only got there with a walker.
Got big old lips. You could just stick them to the window when you don't want to watch them.
You can just see his one last sperm going up the canal on like a jazzy.
Little rascal.
He just throws it in her like an old spittoon.
The kid's going to be born 30 years old. Juliana Pena goes up against Kat Zingano and gets a win over Kat as well.
Kat Zingano lost this fight herself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't a close fight. I take it back. She had the first round.
Right.
I'll definitely give her the first round. And then it seemed like she just
I'd even
gave
give her
up.
2 minutes into the second.
Maybe.
And then after that,
It's
it
like
was
she
just...
gave up. She just gave up.
Yep.
Well, that's why Juliana Pena walked away with the win.
Juliana Pena now going to fight the champion? She go for the champion?
I would say, yeah.
Go for the belt?
Yeah,
Put her
I'd
up
say
there?
so. Why not?
All right.
I don't see why not. All right, as we jump onto your main card here for UFC 200, this is your
Holy
pay-per-view
shit.
with C-Level Kane returning to show everybody what C-Level Kane does best.
And learning spinning shit.
Yeah, spinning shit while he was off, going up against Travis Baby Brain Brown, who he ate a big kick from Cain Velasquez.
Spinning high kick?
Spinning high kick.
He ate a lot.
Yeah, Kane had him out on his feet multiple times. I mean, it was just like, it was the Kane that we know and love, the Kane that's going to go down in history. Is possibly one of the best heavyweights ever in the UFC. Well,
Dude.
not possibly, one of the best heavyweights in the UFC.
Travis Brown
And
ate
also one of the biggest fizzles in the UFC that what if he would have been healthy his whole
Yeah,
career?
what if, he wouldn't have had that 8-second loss on Fox. What if he would have been mountain level Kane instead of sea level Kane when he fought in the mountains? And what if he wasn't injured and only fought 3 times in 5 years?
Dude, light heavyweight and heavyweight is just going to be full of that shit.
Yeah.
What
constantly.
What if?
But he still gets the win. A very impressive fight.
Drugs and elevation fucks them all up.
I didn't see any of the fight pass, but this did it win a bonus? Did it get fight of the night or anything like that? Performance of the night? I'm hoping it did.
He got a bonus. I don't know if they.
Lauzon got a bonus. Musasi and Amanda Nunes, which we'll get to. No fight of the night.
No fight of the night bonus.
Right.
Well, that makes sense.
None of the fights. Yeah.
Because Jose Aldo and Frankie Edgar was lackluster at best.
That was a hell of a fight compared to some of the rest of the card.
Compared to some of the rest of the
After
card.
we got rid of 2 rounds of touchy feely.
Yeah.
I get it. I get that they both respect each other and nobody wants to get knocked out in 13 seconds again. But
Right.
It came down to the point where Edgar just had to do something at the end and didn't do anything.
did you see anything from either one of them that leads you to believe that they're going to give McGregor a run?
No.
Aldo will give McGregor a run because McGregor can't last out of 2 rounds.
But he does.
He didn't have to last
Is he going to
time.
have to? Because look, Edgar didn't pressure him, and McGregor is going to pressure him as soon as the bell rings.
I also think that McGregor's not coming back to 145.
No, it's already scheduled. 205.
He's fighting
At 202 and then 205?
Yep.
202 and then 205.
Yep.
Even if he loses.
Even if he loses, because it's not, like he said, this fight doesn't mean shit. This is all for ratings and money.
grab,
Yeah.
And of course, it's a money grab. That's what we're all about now.
Yep.
Your champ.
Well, not the new owners. We're still getting past some of the old owner stuff.
We'll see. Yeah,
Things
well,
were already booked. They can't change.
they're not going to change that much. They bought the thing for $4
I'm
billion.
sure Sean Shelby is still doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Joe Silva's going to be in
Silva
there.
and
See,
Sean
that's
Shelby
somebody
are
I haven't
still
heard
doing-
much about in this whole deal is Joe Silva. I have to believe he's vested somehow, some way.
Yeah, and they're going to keep a lot of the things the same. It's not like they're going to buy the UFC for $4 billion and paint it fucking pink and put everybody in a tutu.
Psh, that's what one family did that bought McDonald's, right? Remember they bought McDonald's and switched it all over, try to make it like cuisine.
I did not know that, actually.
Yeah.
That's news to me. Your champ, Daniel Cormier, retains his belt, for which he wasn't even on the line for. I don't know why he said that. I'm sorry. I'm dumb. Up against Anderson Silva. And this was one of those things where I can't hate DC too much because, like he said, I came in with a fight plan against John Jones, and they threw Anderson Silva at me 2 days beforehand. I just wanted to survive.
How'd you like to be Anderson Silva? They're like, hey, how'd you like to make $700,000 in 2 days?
Perfect.
And I don't have to give up my butt?
Yeah, I wouldn't even have gone 3 rounds with him. I just would have been like, oh, that hurt.
A Sphinx? You'd have been a Michael Sphinx?
Yeah. Oh man, he laid on me really hard.
Ooh, ow.
I wasn't
Daniel
even trying to.
Cormier basically did his best Chael Sonnen impression.
Yeah.
Laid on top of him, held him down. Now, Big John was standing him up quite a bit, in my opinion. Where Daniel Cormier wasn't doing a lot, but at least he was working. He was hitting head and body quite a bit.
I think it was the right amount.
And then you see the next fight, and you think it's the right amount?
No,
I think
you
okay.
didn't want to change that game. You just paid $2.5 million to see this fight. You don't want to watch him lose.
I was more pissed off at the fact that so many people online,
Giving DC shit?
No, not even that. The plebeians that are fucking giving DC shit and then praising Brock Lesnar, when all he was doing doing the same thing with some rabbit punches.
Yeah. So let's talk about the plebeian that is Donald Cerrone, who called him and said DC fought like a fag.
Ooh.
On
what
a
did
live
what did the
UFC
fags
show.
ever do to you?
Or excuse me, on Ariel Helwani's on a post show.
Did he mean like a bundle of sticks? Because
And
if
then-
it was a bundle of sticks, it would just lay on you.
I don't know, man. I knew
Cormier came out-
some gay dudes in high school that could throw because they had to.
Really?
Yes.
You got beat up by a gay dude.
I didn't know.
huh?
I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
They were my friends.
Yeah, you
Cormier
did.
No,
says
I got
Myron-
beat up by a one-armed man. That actually
special
happened.
needs kid.
And a special needs kid, yes. These both happened.
Those are separate stories too, not a special needs kid with one arm.
No.
Tune in next time.
Daniel Cormier went on Ariel Helwani and said that he is not impressed. He said he would take his hat and smack him in the head with it. My reaction to Donald is shut up. Has he lost his mind? What is this guy talking about? Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
He was a 36-pack in when he said that.
I think so. Cowboy said he came back and said, hey, I apologize. I offended a whole group of people that I'm even friends with and whatever. I don't know.
Well, he's not going to fight DC. That's never going to happen.
Why not?
You can't say that. You can't say that. Who'd have thought McGregor was going to fight Diaz?
No, I don't want to see
in a
that
weight
fight.
class that neither one of them are in.
I don't want to see that fight, though.
The first time, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about, we talked about the Conor McGregor-Nick Diaz fight. I understand. Conor McGregor is moving up in weights to combine the belts, right? He's supposed to fight Dos Anjos. Dos Anjos gets pulled out. Diaz gets put in there for a money fight. Just for the money fight because we're trying to save
stop you there.
We're trying to save a card because we're going to go for ratings.
Right, but I
cool,
still
whatever.
want to stop you there and still back you up. You're going to combine the belts after
you
he hasn't
back
even
that thing
defended it
up?
one
I agree.
time?
I didn't say it
You
was
got
a
a
good
real
idea.
valid point. Won't you back that thing up?
I didn't say it was not a bad decision, but that's what they decided to do. They were going to try to combine the belts. because
Right. Well,
he's
no, but
doing
the
it.
idea for a unification bout is when you've already cleaned out your division.
Correct.
Where he didn't even defend his belt one time against
Not saying
Edgar.
that's not true. I'm just saying this
And
is
he didn't
what
even
we
clean
saw
out his
happening.
he didn't even clean out his division because he really didn't even fight nobody in his division.
He fought, 4 times?
Took out Aldo in 13 seconds, so they were like, okay, he should probably
a guy
defend
who's
the belt
been
against
a
another
guy who
belt.
hadn't been in the ring in like 680 something days.
So then we have the money fight, okay, but I don't understand the rematch. The rematch makes no fucking sense.
Because Conor wants it, and it's money. That's all it
guess.
is.
No, it's just money. I don't think anybody really gave a shit about what Conor
does.
wanted.
He wants to avenge his loss for sure.
Yeah,
But when he
no.
doesn't,
He made him look retarded.
I
He
just-
made him
No,
look
it
stupid.
it
you know what
was
I mean? He made him look
money,
bad.
money, 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 money,
I
money,
wonder
money, money, money.
when Nate Diaz
Money.
beats his ass again, 'cause it's going to happen. And then he has to go back down to 145 at 205, like Dennis is saying. How is he going to look? How's his heart going to be at that point? After Diaz fucking stuffs him in a locker again and takes his lunch money.
Yeah, and so Diaz is gonna get ready to fight him at 170. So I mean, you know how freaking solid he's gonna be at 170 now. He's done like 3 triathlons, I think, keeping track of him.
Yeah, he's not gonna have tequila shits either.
I don't know. From my past football experience, tequila shits help you play football. I don't know what they do for MMA.
Your co-main event, Brock Lesnar,
yes,
Mark Hunt,
Magilla Gorilla, and Mark Hunt. Another very boring 3-round fight.
Again, now
I wouldn't say it was boring.
after
I would
watching the
absolutely
DC
say it was
Anderson
boring.
Silva fight and having Big John stand him up 600 times,
Right.
I was pissed that Dan Murgulati would not do the same thing to Brock Lesnar.
Because
Brock
Brock Lesnar
Lesnar's
was-
entire plan...
He's not Big John McCarthy.
His entire plan was takedowns and hammer fists because he's not finishing Mark Hunt, and the minute he got swung on by Mark Hunt, he was done. Nope, don't want any part of that.
I don't know why Hunt didn't throw a knee one of the 3 times that Brock fell to the ground. You know?
They weren't even. I wouldn't even call a lot of those hammer punches. They were just little rabbit punches on the inside.
True.
And it was like, yeah, it's a size 5 XL glove hitting you in the face, but it's still only hitting you in the face from a few inches away, and it's Mark Hunt's head.
Yeah.
It's not like one of our heads. It's Mark Hunt's fucking head. It doesn't hurt that much.
And even, like, Mark Hunt just, like, looked up, like, really? Can you make him stop? Can we get up and stand up and fight again?
Yeah.
I'd like to stand up and fight again.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
No, I thought it was people who are swinging off Brock Lesnar's nuts right now saying that he's back. Put him up against Cain Velasquez and see what happens. That's the fight I want to see.
Put him against Overeem
When he
again.
left,
Yeah.
where was he at? He was 3rd or 4th?
When he left?
Yeah.
He had 2 losses in a row.
I think 5th.
5th.
Yeah.
So he was in the top 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that was terrible. I want to see him fight Brock Lesnar.
You mean
Cain Velasquez. I want to see him
Fuck
fight
that.
himself.
I want to fight Lesnar versus Lesnar.
Yeah, fuck him.
He's at number 8 right now.
I want a
Yeah.
mirror match. I want a mirror match right now.
Put him against Dos Santos. Put him against Overeem. Put him against Cain Velasquez. He loses.
Although I would watch him fight Arlovsky.
Okay, and now is Carwin's activated, right?
Carwin was activated. I don't know if he still is.
I don't know if he still is. The other thing that's interesting to note is that Brock Lesnar is still being tested by the USADA because he has not announced his retirement from MMA.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So now he has to juggle WWE, SummerSlam coming up, also being tested by the USADA for out of competition.
He
testing.
left it open by saying, you know what? I came back. I fought somebody in the top 10. I didn't do too bad.
Yeah.
You did
know?
horrible. You fought a turtle.
I don't. He did eat some punches though.
The only guy in the heavyweight division that you could literally put on his back and him not be able to do anything besides Brock Lesnar is Mark Hunt. Any other guy in the heavyweight division knows more to do off their back than Mark Hunt or Brock Lesnar.
I would like to see Daniel Cormier against Brock Lesnar.
I would watch that. Yeah.
No, the height difference. Cormier does not do good against tall people.
He's not that tall.
We'd finally see an F5.
Okay.
I'm fine with that. And then Amanda Nunes showed up. Misha Tate did not. So Amanda Nunes just walked in, took the belt, and went home.
Wow.
I believe a lot of this had to do with the weight cut.
Hugely. There's pictures of her. She looks like she's dead laying in
Yeah.
the bathroom floor.
Yeah. Terrible.
Horrible.
Everything about this is bad. Misha Tate got her ass handed to her with a submission rear naked choke at 3:16 of the very first round.
You really need to learn to play through that broken face.
Oh man, she posted a Snapchat picture of herself saying "I'm alive," XOXO, wearing like the biggest sunglasses known.
No
to
way.
man.
It's
yeah.
hey everybody, I'm alive. I'm alive.
That's how she was holding those giant sunglasses up.
That's horrible.
Yeah, got her ass.
So now, how did you describe her? Looks like she got hit with the snow shovel on
Snow
one.
shovel, yeah.
So now it's like she got the whole shovel.
And Amanda Nunes has been sleeping with her belt ever since.
Yep. And becomes the first ever openly gay UFC champion.
Good for her.
Now, when they say openly gay, did that mean that we could have had some other gay people that weren't open about
sure
it?
we
Yes.
I'm sure.
Okay.
I showed you. I showed somebody else Dennis Hallman's his training mask. I'm not saying Dennis Hallman's gay, but I'm saying
He
those.
said he lost a bet, sir.
Those are very sexy shorts.
He lost
That's what I'm saying.
All right, moving on
A
to
lot of man meat jumping around out there.
Fight
Yeah.
Night on Fox. This is Fight Night 90, right? 91. UFC Fight Night 91. This was on Wednesday. Go through this real quick.
Sure.
They said this is 91, right?
Yes.
They said this is like the worst performing fight night they've ever had.
You
The
put it
ratings.
on a Wednesday after this huge setup of cards.
After the club went up on a Tuesday, you put it on a Wednesday for real.
And it started at 4 in the afternoon.
Started at 4 in the
Our
afternoons
time.
in South Dakota.
Yeah, this is
This should have been on Versus.
this is the forgotten. This is the forgotten card. This is. I mean, we might as well call it UFC on UFC whatever Fight Night 91.
Like I feel
forgotten.
like they booked South Dakota and was like, shit, we forgot to put together a card.
So kicking
We
it
owe
off.
South Dakota a card.
Which Dakota? There's 2 of them. Alex Nicholson defeats Devin Clark with KO at 4:57 of the very first round. Rainey Yaha up against Matthew Lopez, arm triangle choke in the third round. Then you jump on to Fox Sports 1 for the rest of the fights. Scott Holtzman defeats Mr. Fister with a unanimous decision. And then Courtney Casey go up against Christina Stanchu. This was a TKO with elbows with Courtney Casey getting the big win there. Sam Alvey gets a win over Eric Spicely with a guillotine choke.
I like his, like, I don't know if it's a finish move or whatever he does, that weird pointing thing.
You got me.
Yeah, you got to see it.
All right. God damn it.
Maybe it's called the ginger snap. I don't know.
We can call it the ginger snap. Sure. We just gave it a new name. Boom, wins via ginger snap over Eric Spicely. Caitlin Chukagan up against Lauren Murphy.
Lauren Murphy, she took this on a late notice too, and I
Yeah.
think it was bad.
Yeah.
All right, so Caitlin gets the win. Louis Smolka also beats Ben Yen. Win.
That was a good fight.
It was a good fight. It was a good way to kick off the main card on Fox. Then Kika Nakamura up against Kyle Noak. We said, hey, Kyle Noak's back. No, he's not. He got rear naked choked out.
Yeah.
At the very end, like 1 second to go. 1 second to go, ref.
Of
Really?
The next round. But how long was the choke being held for?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's when the tap came in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Daniel
Emil Zakunk.
Emelianachik going up against
Ali Oxenfree.
Alexei Oleanic. Fuck you. Majority decision in favor of Daniel. Then you got the blue collar brawler, Tim Boach.
Tim Boach is alive.
That
Yes.
was awesome.
Got an awesome TKO. Second round over Josh Salmon. And Ferguson gets a win over Lando Venata. Ferguson looked pretty good.
Lando Venata looked amazing.
Dude, let me just
Took
say
this
this.
fight on short notice, is the rookie, the newcomer, and he was winning the fight for definitely the first round. Kukui looked confused.
I know. They need to call him Lando fucking
I seriously
punching
felt
bag
like
Venata.
two people were
Because he could
playing
take a hit.
the UFC video game and just button mashing.
Yeah.
There were so many punches,
When you described it like
kicks,
that.
spins, angles, movement. It was just like, I'm just going to push everything I can. Am I winning? I don't know. Are you winning?
Yeah, and just the fact that they kept falling down
Yep.
was just like mean that they were just trying whatever they had to try.
Yeah.
Until the one
everything.
time Lando couldn't get back up.
Putting everything in there, man. And
I'm all
finally he
woozy
caught him
and
with that
shit.
darts.
Yep. And
Which
then,
Tony Ferguson is really good with that darts.
he really is.
Really good with that darts.
He's a wizard on the ground, man. John Lineker gets a win over local boy Michael Mayday McDonald.
Knockout. Now, this was pretty
5'3" against 5'8".
pretty good. Lineker could take a punch, man.
To tell you, he was.
He got hit with some really, Mayday was hitting him with some good straights. Hit him a couple times.
He rocked him hard though.
Yeah,
like a
getting up
minute
against
30.
that fence though,
Yeah.
that was the wrong place to try to have that
got
battle.
Stuck against the fence, and he just got dropped. He got picked back up. He got dropped. He got picked back up. And
He was
finally,
out
just
twice.
Overwhelmed with punches from Lineker.
Out twice before he was officially out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree with
before
that.
he was able to turn over.
yeah.
Man,
So an unfortunate return and loss for Michael McDonald. John Lineker gets a big win though.
But I mean,
that was his second fight back.
but I
from
mean,
a
losing
second
losing to
back.
number 8, and Lineker just came up from the other weight class,
Yeah.
right? So, but I mean, losing to 8, I mean, he still stays in the top 10, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
So,
Still okay, and don't get mad at me, Angel. But Michael being the guy, let's forget that he's local here for a second. Let's just talk about the fact that he went all the way up to the top to fight for the belt, and then now he's come back and he's having issues.
Well, he won his first fight
Right.
back.
And he looked really bad in this fight.
yeah, but even in that fight that he
In
won,
this fight, it looked in the beginning. It looked like he was judging the distance well, and then it just went out the window.
right. But let's go back to the last fight. The last fight was not going his way. The way that the roll on the ground went his way,
And he was able to capitalize.
and he was
for
able
sure.
to capitalize on it.
for sure.
But I mean, from the go, the last fight was not going his way.
No.
I guess time will tell. He's 1-1 on his
Right.
return. We'll see what happens next for him, or what his decision is for what he's going to do next too. With Lineker now 5 in a row, does he make a run for the belts?
Yeah, I don't see why not. He's definitely got to be next in line.
Yeah, a lot of people described him as subhuman
He took a
and
lot
throwing
of punches,
bricks.
man.
Subhuman and throwing bricks.
He took a lot of punches from Mayday,
Brutal.
for sure.
And we know Mayday has serious knockout power.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Jumping off from there onto what's going on tonight with Bellator. If you're listening to this right now, turn it on.
This
because
whole
it's
card
probably
is
happening. Just what?
Well, I mean, all the different things that have happened with this card. Obviously, Kimbo Slice passing away, with Josh Koscheck being pulled off of his fight with Paul Daly. This whole fight this whole card has been kind of redone.
Well, the
quite
prelims
a
are on
bit.
Spike.com if you want to watch that. Your main one, if you're apparently in the UK, you can watch on Channel 5. I just happened to see that today.
Yeah. But your main event is Paul Daly, Douglas Lima, Matt Mitrione.
Mitrione up against Oli Thompson.
yeah,
Evangelista Santos
the
is fighting
Venom,
as well.
Venom and Evangelista. That's going to be a brawl.
And Francis Carmonts against Lucas.
Free fights are always fun.
Yeah,
Never a problem with
always
free
good.
fights. So check out Bellator, which is going on right now. No UFC coming up next week, so that pretty much wraps up our podcast this time around. Up, down, left, right, B, start.
Yeah.
Right? Left, right, B,
was.
start. That's what that was. So thanks for tuning in. Tell your friends. Find us anywhere podcasts are broadcast. Of course, SD_MMA is where you find us on Twitter and Instagram. Split Decision MMA Podcast on the Book of Faces. It's Bueller, Dodge, and Dennis from the Rudolph Family Inc. Studios saying thanks for listening. Have a good night. We'll see you at the fights.